Hello and welcome back. This last time where I did Final Fantasy X, today I'm moving on to its divisive direct sequel, Final Fantasy X-2. So let's not dilly-dally and get into the meat and potatoes of this. The story starts with Yuna singing in the middle of a concert, only to be interrupted by Riku and a new character called Pain, who looked at Lulu's outfit from the previous episode and thought, not edgy enough. Eventually the real Yuna shows up, revealing that the woman singing was actually someone pretending to be Yuna called LeBlanc, who is using this dress sphere that allows her to look like Yuna for some reason. Yuna and friends manage to defeat LeBlanc and take the dress sphere from her and head back to their ship. It is revealed that 2 years have passed since the previous game, and Yuna managed to receive an information sphere containing footage of what appears to be Tidus. So after receiving it, she decided to exchange her spells for shells, team up with Riku, Pain and a bunch of other people to form a group called the Gullwings, whose goal is to hunt down information spheres around the world in the hopes of discovering what's going on with the supposed return of Tidus, while also making a tidy profit along the way. The game primarily consists of going from location to location performing jobs, usually involving the 3 main factions in this game. Those being New Yevon, who are the remnants of the cult of Yevon, who have decided to rebuild and reform in an attempt to redeem themselves in the eyes of the people. The Youth League, whose primary goal is to defend the people of this world, as well as uncover New Yevon's dirty laundry. And the Mechanists, who are more interested in digging up and uncovering and rebuilding ancient machinery and technology, and to be honest aren't really that important to the story. It is eventually revealed that supposed return of Tidus is related to an ancient machine called Vegnagun, which was an indestructible weapon of war that is currently being stored under the capital city of New Yevon, which is also currently under attack by the Youth League. Gullwings managed to get beneath the city, only for it to turn out that Vegnagun has completely vanished. And not only that, but a bunch of portals have opened up underneath the old temples, with giant dark creatures resembling the Aeons as well as other nasties crawling out of the holes. Later on it is also revealed that the 3 faction leaders have gone missing, and that Pain along with the faction leaders were all once part of a team sent out by the cult of Yevon to retrieve Vegnagun in the hopes of using it to destroy Sin. The Gullwings managed to get to one of the holes only for Yuna to get knocked down it and end up in the spiritual realm of the Far Planes. There she manages to bump into what she thinks is Tidus at first, but it turns out to be a completely different person named Shu Yin, who was this ancient soldier that died during the Machina Wars 1,000 years ago. And the reason he looks and sounds like Tidus is because, I don't know, the game doesn't really explain why. He briefly mistakes Yuna for his deceased lover and explains to her that he spent all this time watching humanity destroy themselves and do other bad stuff, and he's become so resentful that he plans to use Vegnagun to basically destroy the world. Yippee! Another villain that wants to destroy the world because humanity sucks. He's then chased off by 2 of the faction leaders that are here somehow. Well, actually it is explained, along with the fact that Shu Yin has managed to possess the leader of New Yevon, but it's in a cutscene that you can easily miss if you're not in the right place in the right time. Isn't it just annoying when you can just completely miss out on integral plot points because you weren't in the right place at the right time? Yuna eventually manages to get back from the Far Planes, only to be told that since New Yevon and the Youth League don't have any leaders, they're currently on the verge of all-out war. She decides to de-escalate this situation by holding a concert using the music sphere from the beginning of the game in hopes to calm them down. After a bit of a sing-song, Yuna gets a flash of memories that aren't her own, and it turns out that the sphere actually contains the spirit and memories of Xiuyin's dead lover. And Yuna gets the idea that by uniting the two, she might be able to stop Xiuyin from destroying the world. So the Gullwings decide to head down one of the holes, fight through the far planes, before finally arriving at the Xiuyin-possessed leader of New Yevon, controlling Vegnagun via a giant organ on top of its head. Okay. Then there's a big team up between the Gullwings, the two other leaders of the faction, as well as LeBlanc and her two minions that honestly weren't that important. That's why I haven't really brought them up until now. They managed to defeat Vegnagun's true form, that being this giant robotic insect, by attacking its tail, its legs, its chest, before managing to get up to its head and manages to deactivate it before it can fire its giant mouth cannon. They then managed to detach Xiuyin from the leader of New Yevon and managed to defeat him and reunite him with the spirit of his dead lover. They pass on, Vegnagun's destroyed, the three leaders hold a public apology to the world and promise to do a better job of leading them into peaceful times, and if you've 100% completed the game, Yuna finally gets to reunite with Tidus. The gameplay is in some places similar to its predecessor, but in a lot of ways completely different. As while the traversal is pretty much the same as the previous game, apart from being able to climb and jump on certain things, the primary difference this game has is involving its combat. Rather than being your standard turn-based RPG, this game has more of an active battle system, where each character has a certain cooldown between when you use their turn to attack or use their abilities. And I think a similar situation applies to the creatures you're fighting as well, even though you can't really see how long it takes for them to use one attack then another. This means while you can't be as strategic as you were in the previous game, since you might leave yourself open for an attack, it kind of requires you to be a bit more proactive with what abilities and attacks and items you use. Another new addition is the dress spheres, which act as the class system in this game. Each character can gain cards that you can use to equip dress spheres to them and switch between those dress spheres as an action during battle. Each dress sphere has its own unique abilities and attacks, more of which you can unlock the more your character uses that dress sphere. There are also special dress spheres that sort of act as the substitute for summons in this game, where you can only unlock them once you switch through every dress sphere you have equipped during your battle. Another new mechanic that admittedly is less useful is the beast capture system, where from your airship you can capture certain beasts that you can find as combatants in the world and use them as a substitute for one or more of your party members in battle. Although you can't really control them during battle, and that's why I and many others choose not to use this system, to be honest. Apart from that, the game also has your standard equipables and levelling up. Another thing that distinguishes this game from its predecessor is that it works on a more mission-based system, with the story being separated into certain chapters. There are also side quest missions along with the main missions that you can use to learn more about the places, characters and world, as well as seeing the previous party members from the previous game and what they've been getting up to since in the past 2 years. The graphics are literally the same as the previous game. A lot of locations, assets and character models are reused, which admittedly can cause some dissonance with the story that it's telling. One of my favourite examples being that Lulu from the previous game is canonically pregnant for a majority of the appearances she makes, and the characters talk to her as such. But her model is exactly the same as it was in the previous game. And since Music Master's not back, no call, no text, nothing, I guess I have to do the music again. The concert part at the beginning of the game has your sort of expected J-pop theme, and some other themes like some of the battle themes and Yuna's theme can be a bit poppy as well. whilst other battle themes and other themes have a bit more of a techno, Prodigy-esque vibe to them. And some feel a bit more orchestrated and more moving, the sort of thing you would expect from, well, a Final Fantasy game. There are also some tracks that sound like sort of AI generated Endel music. Although thankfully, since this game is so old, it means it was made before these sort of AIs came about. Thank goodness, and fuck AI. There are also some obligatory weird silly tracks as well, like the chocobo riding thing. While some people might enjoy to listen to some Final Fantasy soundtracks in the background, I don't think you can really do that for this one, as some of the music can be a bit annoying or a bit in your face. I'd say this is a bit of a hit and miss game. Well, I wouldn't say it's bad, it's unique choices in gameplay, weirdly paced story, reuse of a lot of assets from its predecessor, sort of hit and miss soundtrack, and a general lighter and less serious tone than its predecessor. I don't think it's completely necessary for you to play if you played the previous game. While all these decisions may make or break this game for you, personally I thought it was quite good, albeit not as good as its direct predecessor. And hey, if you want to play it, it's pretty much bundled in with every re-release or port of Final Fantasy X anyway. Well, that's all from me. See you guys next time. Well, that's that duology over and done. What the hell?
Hello, Chris.